Hello and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to welcome you all to our AITS Tech Talk webinar. In today's session, my colleague Janine Kuta will be discussing or will be guiding us for the coming 30 minutes discussing the Citect SCADA Workspace. So I wish you a valuable session, and please be reminded to type any question you have during the session in the question box. And for sure, we'll be answering all your questions by the end of the session. Now I just leave you in safe hands with my colleague Janine. Hi, Janine.
Hi, Nader. Thank you. In today's webinar, we will cover Workspace applied in Citect SCADA 2018 R2 version. Today's agenda will first introduce the definition and the advantages of the use of Workspace. Then, the main architecture components are discussed, such as screen profile, Workspace, and the master page, along with the Pane's content. Finally, we will be demonstrating an example on how to embed those features. Workspace allows the management of the contextual content within each screen. It provides an efficient, fast way to auto-generate navigation menu with alarm counts. It enables the user to create multi-monitor profiles for each display client with different screen resolutions. It contains an inbuilt context system that updates the faceplates and the information zone for each selected equipment. The first element to configure is the screen profile. It is defined as the arrangement of screens used by a Citect SCADA display client with multiple monitors. It is defined in the Citect Studios setup activity. A screen profile can be applied using the screen setup page of the computer setup wizard. You can define a screen profile for each type of client workstation in your system independently. Inside the screen profile, we have the workspace, which is the engine that manages the contextual content changes. A startup context is set for each workspace by linking each screen to a level 1 menu or level 1 item menu in the project menu named navigation. Here, area 1 is level 1 item, tab 1 is level 2, page 1 and 2 are level 3 items. A startup context is set for each screen via the screen setup page of the computer setup wizard. The major component of the workspace is the master page, which provides the layout for the content that appears in the workspace. It differs from other graphic pages as it is made up of the panes that each hosts individual pages at runtime. We have two types of resolutions, the high definition resolution and the ultra high definition resolution. To configure the master page, the computer setup wizard is used. As mentioned earlier, the master page contains different panes. We have 5 types of panes. The header, it includes page navigation buttons, trend alarm pages, the current page name, the login information, the current date and time, the shutdown button. The content pane, it displays pages you create to represent your plant or production facility. The navigation embeds the tabs, the buttons that can be used to switch between the content pages. Faceplate, it is a page associated with each piece of equipment. It contains a graphical representation of the equipment, such as measurements and controls. Finally, the info zone or the info pane, it contains the alarm list, the trends, and the interlocks. You have 3 types of interlocks: security interlocks, process interlocks, and permissive types of interlocks. Now let's go to our demo. In my demo, I have already created a project called webinar_workspace. It's my active project right now. I have configured some equipment. I will go to my system model, open the equipment editor, and show you I have already created a water pump equipment. Now, of type drive, I will create a new equipment now. This equipment, I will call it water level, that will detect my water level inside my tank. It will be of type meter. And I'll click on OK. I'll configure it. I'll choose it to be within my cluster 1. The tag prefix will be water level. The IO device is internal. And this water level will be associated with a page called water tank that will be created later on. I'll click on OK now. I'll update my equipment, save all, click on OK, show the logs, everything's fine. I'll close my equipment editor for the time being. As you see, the equipment is already created and the corresponding variables are listed here automatically. I'll go back to my equipment. Now, as you see, I have associated for my water pump a faceplate called Direct Online Drive. I will associate a new faceplate, but now for my water level. It's of type analog input, and this will show me the faceplate whenever I click on my water level during runtime. I'll click on save. Okay, now everything is saved. Now I want to create a screen profile. To do that, I will go to the setup activity. You will see here I have a screen profile. Let's create a new screen profile, call it screen profile 1. This screen profile 1, I want it to be of 2 screens, because let's suppose we have 2 clients, each showing a different screen. I will make it to be made up of 2 screens. You can see here I can switch between the resolutions for each type of screen here. Okay, so each type of screen can have a different resolution. For the time being, I will keep it this way. I will save my project. All right, now I will create my pages. So the pages here, I will go, in order to create the pages, I go to the visualization activity. You see that in this project, we have predefined pages such as the faceplates already used, because faceplate is a page itself. For example, the AI I used for the meter is right here. I will create my own pages. I will create 2 pages, one for my water pump and one for my tank. So here, HD, I will choose the resolution, click on OK. Now I will paste a genie, a composite genie from my situational awareness library. For the pump, I will be using the drive, click on open. Let me just share my full screen with you guys. Okay, so associated to water pump here, let me change the label. I'll call it water pump. I want it to be of a large size and the display label to be below. Click on OK. Now let's create some navigation items. To do that, click on paste the genie, go to SA, situational awareness _ navigation. I want to use a link _R, which will pinpoint to the right side. Now, how to configure the navigation? In the menu item, I will be putting the path of this item. The menu item will be of the form level 1, level 2, level 3, etc. I will be doing that later on when I configure my navigation. So now, later on, you will see that my level 1 item is my plant 2 dot water tank, because this will take me to water tank. I will put a tooltip called water tank, and I'll click on OK. I'll drag this and drop it here. I'll close this page and I'll save it, and I will call it water pump. This is my first page, water pump. Click on OK. I will create a new page now called water tank. I will create it from my Citect graphic builder. New page, change the resolution. All right. Click on OK. I will put now my level and create my water tank. I'll change the radius to make it look better. I will paste the genie, the composite genie from my situational awareness library, which is of type meter. I will associate it now, water level. Okay. I will keep the default configurations and I'll click on OK. Let us also create a navigation item as done before. Now I'll use the left blink. Same way, my plan 2 dot water pump, because I want to go to water pump this time. Water pump. Click on OK. Drag and drop it here. Close it, and let's save this page. I'll call it water tank page. So we are done configuring the pages. Very easy, very simple. Now let us go and configure the navigation. To do that, we go to the visualization activity, to the menu configuration. You see that we have predefined menu configuration. I will do some changes. First of all, to my navigation here, I will call this plant 1. Notice that plant 1 is level 1 item. I will create a new navigation for my new screen. So I'll click on copy. I'll copy that and I'll paste it. All right, I'll rename it to this time plant 2. And remember, this is used in the navigation. I will call this my, water pump. Remove this. Okay. The menu command, the navigation underscore show target page, it is a function that will take me to the corresponding page. This is the Cycode function. So it's water pump, and I'll do the same for my water tank. Paste. Okay. So here, water tank, and this will take me automatically to my water tank page. I'll save my change. I'll save the changes occurring. I will now run the project. Notice that when I run the project for the first time, there's a notification popping out telling me that I need to set up my computer. So it will open automatically the computer setup wizard. I will do that quickly. I will be using an express type of configuration. Okay, it's opening now. Just one sec. Okay, it's right there in the background. So click on next. Next, I want to configure the local settings. All right, here we go. So the screen profile, we already have 2 screen profiles configured, the default one and the one that I just configured right now. I want to choose this. I have 2 screens. I want to choose the first screen one to be for my plant 1, the second to be for my plant 2. I'll change the startup page for both. I'll use the high definition and I click on next. My computer is a server and a client at the same time, so I'll keep those this configuration. It's a standalone, no network. no password configuration, and I'll click on next and I'll finish, and that's it. Now I will rerun the project to show you the runtime. Now it's loading, the runtime manager appears, starting all the processes and all the servers, the trend alarm, the OI server, everything. I'll hide that for the time being. Now let's wait for my runtime application to run. Okay, here we go. So as you see now, let me just minimize that for a minute. You have two screens. The first screen, it takes me to plant 1. The second screen takes me to plant 2. I'll be using plant 2. You will see that I can here toggle between the pages already configured from the menu configuration. If I click on the water pump, it will take me automatically to the faceplate in the faceplate pane. And I'll, for example, go to my water tank, go back to my water pump. Let us see the meter faceplate. It's already there. So basically, that's it for my try. But I will be showing you a really interesting example already embedded inside Citect SCADA. If you go to my project activity, you will see that there's a predefined example, situational awareness example for you that would help you view those amazing features. Just click, make it active. Let me just direct you towards the configuration a little bit. I'll take you first to see the equipment model by clicking on the equipment editor. You can see here the model is composed of company, and the company is composed of 2 sub-equipment categories, which is the library and the top milk. The library, it contains some of the situational awareness library. The top milk, it contains the process itself. For example, the milk supply, it has the skim milk tank and the full milk tank. Here you can see the bunch of equipments for each type of tank. All right, so that's it for the equipment. You can see that also for each equipment, I have configured a content, which is the faceplate for this equipment. Also, let us take a look on the interlock. To do that, instead of going to the model view, you go to the reference view. So now you are referencing equipment to one another. So in a way that they are linked together, there's a certain interlock between those two. For example, pump 4 is the highlighted one right here. It has a process interlock with the tank, with the skim milk tank. All right, so that's it for the interlock. Let's take a look on the configured screen profiles. Here, they already configured for us 3 screen profiles. One of them, it's called one monitor. It has a 1920 1080 resolution. The second one is also one monitor. It has another type of resolution. We have also 2 monitors. It contains 2 screens with the same resolution. So that's it for the screen profiles. Let us see how the navigation is configured now. Go back to my visualization activity. You see here that the menu configurations, it shows all the navigation items. For example, the interlock zone, it contains the safety, permissive, and process interlocks. Okay, it also lists the different levels for the navigation. For example, level 1 is for my plant, level 2 is for my ingredients. Finally, before going to runtime, I'll be showing you the pages already configured here. Let us take a look on some of the pages. Let's go to my, let's say, default alarm page. Okay, this page will pop up later on in runtime here. So you can see the state, etc. This will be viewed later on during runtime. You can take a good look at that. I'll close it now. Let us see the trend page. If you open it, you can see that there's a process analyst embedded. You can double click on that to configure it. All right. Finally, I'll close this one. Finally, let's see the themes, which is really interesting. You can change the color of your theme. Let's now run it to check out those beautiful features. So run. So because it's the first time, I'm going to run my computer setup wizard. It's loading right now. Let me check if it's in the background. All right. Okay, so let us go through this quickly as done before. I'll keep just the default, the one monitor. I'll choose my plant, my level 1, this type of startup page. All right, I'll click on next and let us run this again to check out what's going on during runtime. Now everything is loading up. Let me hide that. Let me just hide that also. Okay. So here we go. You can see here at the top, we have the header bar, which contains the page we already opened that I showed you earlier. You can add, let's say, certain tags to your trends. For example, if I want to add, let's say, my flow PV for my this one here, I can add it to my trend. I'll search for it. Oh, sorry. Okay. Let me just go back and choose that again to add it to my trend. All right, so here PV, and I'll put it in my trend, and I'll click on add and click on OK. You will see that it will be right here at the bottom. You can change the time and everything. At the left side, you see that my equipment hierarchy is there. And next to each equipment, you can see the equipment count. Not only that, it shows the counts for the different priorities, different alarm priorities. You can also see the alarms here, right here, listed so easily without no configuration. This can be done really easy. Let us now check the navigation pane. For example, the supply, which is made up of tank 1 and tank 2. Let us check our temperature sensor. Whenever I click on the temperature sensor, it automatically jumps to the faceplate. The corresponding alarms will generate in the information zone along with the trends. Let us check out how interlock looks during runtime. We said earlier that you can create interlocks and configure them. For example, pump 4, it has like a key here, a closed key, because there's an interlock configured. If you go to permissive interlock, you will see that there's an interlock between the pump and the valve. So whenever the valve is closed, the pump will not open because it will be burned. So very easy. It's you know, you can do it with minimum configuration. It's really helpful. So I hope you enjoyed this webinar. Thank you very much for attending.
Thank you so much, Janine, for this valuable session. So as we have mentioned in the beginning of this session, we are waiting to receive the audience questions. Let's give them a few minutes to type it. Again, just you can type it in the question box. In the meanwhile, just want to remind you as well that you can always follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, and you can find the links in the chat box. So we are waiting. Let's give a minute for the questions to start. We have actually received a question regarding the header and the navigation tree, how much we can customize them. Janine, can you help with this question, please?
Yeah, sure. I'll begin with the first part. It's about navigation. Sorry, about the header bar, right? Yes. So yes. The header bar, yes. The header bar, it's a page. Let me go back to see if I can try to show you that. I will open my graphic builder. I'll go File, open the corresponding page. Okay, so it is inside the SA include library. you will go to default header bar and you click on open, you will see that this is the page that you can configure. For example, you can add your own buttons here. Or you can, for example, okay, I'm not going to do the configuration. You can change the, you can order those. Yeah, it is changeable. Concerning the second part about the navigation, I want to tell you something. The navigation, it resembles the equipment hierarchy already discussed from the equipment editor. Let me show you an example of a page that contains this navigation tree and how you can change it. For example, the default alarms, they have a place where the navigation is placed. If you double click on that, you will see that the data source of this, the tree view, is my equipment model. For example, you viewed earlier that you can see the alarm counts next to each equipment. You can make it to false because you don't want to see it. You have also, you can customize the genie related to this navigation tree by going to the corresponding project, which is the SA controls.view item. So yeah, you can do some configurations on the navigation. I hope I answered the question.
Perfectly.
Thank you very much.
Second question, is there more detailed session about this? I believe I can answer this question. Yes, regarding the Citect Workspace, we have training dedicated for this topic. I will just post now the link in the chat box. Okay, so this is the training registration. You can just go and check our courses there. If you have an experience with the Citect, even with older version, you can attend this this course called Citect Workspace and Situational Awareness. It has a lot of more even information. You will be going deeply with the information about the situational awareness and the workspace. And in case you don't have an experience with Citect, you can at least attend the configuration course before attending this one. So I hope I answered as well this question well. Let's give some time to the audience for more questions. There is one question: from which version this workspace we can find it in Citect? Actually, this is from 2018. From 2018 version, you can find the workspace feature in Citect version, in Citect SCADA. Let's give one more minute, Janine, for the people. How to create user-defined data types in Citect SCADA? It's hard for me. I believe I will pass it to Janine to answer this one. Janine, the question is how to create user-defined data types in Citect SCADA.
Yeah, thank you, Nara, for the question. But what is meant by data types? What do we mean by user-defined data types?
Let me check who wrote this question. Just a second. It's from Urvish, if I'm spelling his name correctly. So if you can just elaborate more a little bit, Urvish, about this question, please. Yeah, so let's give 1 minute as well for the other people to answer, or for Urvish to elaborate about this question. There's a question, general question. Is it possible to get a recording for this one, for this webinar? Yeah, definitely. Every time we are attending a webinar, after this webinar, you will be receiving the recording that you can share it with your colleagues if one of them have missed it. And at the same time, you can find it on our YouTube channel after a few days.
I think that I got what he meant. I don't know if he meant something related to the variables. Yeah, you have different type of data types. Like you can have a digital, long, real, string. Yeah, you know, yep. So I don't know if this is his answer. This is the answer for his question.
It might be he didn't give us more details actually.
Yeah.
طيب, let me jump to another question. Someone is asking, can I change in the default equipment faceplate?
Yes, we can do that by going back to the original page, which is associated with this faceplate. For example, if you open, let's say, the water level faceplate I used in this webinar, I can double click on this page and I can do whatever I want here. Let's say I want to delete this one. I don't want it to show. I'll go and delete. So yes, predefined faceplates inside each project, they can be modified and easily.
Great. Next question. Can I run Citect SCADA on runtime mode while the PLC simulator is running, just a second, is running on a network computer?
You mean that the OI device is on another computer? Is that what he meant?
It seems so. So.
Yes, you can do that. You can choose network communication instead of standalone, and you will be able to do that. And you can use the internal, you can use SciCode or the internal OI devices to run simulations. You can create your own events also to view the simulation. Yep, it can be done.
Okay.
Yes.
Any more questions? I think that's all for today. Anyway, if you'll be like sending us any more questions, for sure we'll come back to you and sending you all the details and the answers. So I think that's all for today. I want to thank you, Janine, and thank everyone for attending and for the questions you have raised. You will be receiving the webinar recording for sure, and you can share it with your team. We will virtually meet you again on the 3rd of September with a new webinar topic. So till that time, stay safe and have a nice weekend. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.